Alright, hey guys, I am going to be showing you today how to use badgerlink.net. So I want you guys to open your computers and type in www.badgerlink.net. And here is the screen that will show up to you. Remember that you've already found your one Google article and that you will be searching for your 3 off of badgerlink now, because each of you need a total of 4 articles for your entire annotated bibliography. Alright, so taking a look at badgerlink, it is full of information that is put on by the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction as a place to go and find reliable resources. Looking at badgerlink, you can see where it says format, subject, audience, info. Under format, you can look up books, encyclopedia, magazines, multimedia, newspapers, primary source, scholarly journals. That's sort of your one-stop shopping. Reason being is, if you need a book that's not in our library, or it can't be found in the public library, or the public library's MORE system can't find it for you, that you have an opportunity to order it from any state public library through the WSCAT system. So I can go into there and find the book that I want, high school, elementary school, and have it shipped right here to Bloomer. So we're going to start today under magazines. So what badgerlink has done for us has made our lives fairly easy. That back in the day when I was doing research in college and I needed to find magazine articles, I would go to the 5th floor of the library on the UW-Stevens Point campus, and I would sift through. I would go and I would look this up on here, and then I would have to go, a lot like our library in the nonfiction section, find the entire binder with all of that year's, plus maybe 3 more years, articles in it, find the volume, the issue number, and the page number, and then go to a photocopy or a copier and make a photocopy for myself. This, you're printing it straight from your computer, so it's really nice. They've done a bunch of categories for you. And so all the business related magazines are together, all the consumer health, consumer reports, education ones. They have bigger databases called ERIC. That's for more higher education, like if you're taking an English 101 class through distance learning, you would probably use that source. So as you can see, there's just a whole pile of information in here, all categorized based on subject. We're going to actually start under MAS Ultra School Edition. This is a really good source for high school students. And so let's click on that one. And it's going to take us to MAS Ultra, and the audience is for our middle and high school, which means it's going to be easy for you to read. It's going to cover areas of history, science, careers. It'll tell you the popular magazines that it's in. And so if you're a little unsure if that's a database you want to use, if you click on it, it'll tell you which magazines that you would find within it. So MAS Ultra, I think, is going to be good for all of us. So let's click on that one. It's going to take you to EBSCOhost, which is our search engine. A lot like you go on Google, or you go on Yahoo, or you go on Bing, or you go on Expedia to look up that particular thing that you're looking for. This is our scholarly article database, or search engine, sorry. Now, I want to add some more databases besides MAS Ultra School Edition, because regardless of how many magazines it has in it, there's still more that I can search, and I want to have a fairly big search for myself. So I want you to write down the ones that you are going to use for this class, because chances are if you're taking a history class, or you're taking a, even for science or Spanish, that if you need an article for something, this is the place to go to, and these would be the databases to use. So I want you to click on Academic Search Premier. That has a ton of magazines in it. You've already marked MAS Ultra School Edition. Feel free to add any extras. If you have somebody who's done something in the health field, or History Reference Center might be good for some of you who have older subjects such as Albert Einstein or Thomas Edison. That might be a good one to use. So I'll click on that just for now. Upper right hand side I would do Master File Premier and Newspaper Source Plus. That will give you access to every newspaper in the United States. And then as they're publishing articles in magazines or in newspapers, they're constantly being added to this database. So even as we speak, there's articles being added. If you have a more contemporary author, I would add in newswires and web news. So if you're doing like the LeBron James or even the Michael Jordans of the world, or a pop singer like Miley Cyrus, or we had some with Luke Bryan, I would for sure make sure that I have those clicked on. So those are the ones that I would use. Like I said, if you have a science one or a business one, I would get those added. It doesn't hurt. Click OK. Now I'm ready to search. Now remember that you can keep your search as wide as you want to, or you could narrow it down to start with. By keeping it wide, it could be one of those things where every time I type in Michael Jordan, and every time he's mentioned in something, it will show up, and then I have 33,000 articles to sift through. I don't really know if I'm up for that today, so I might want to make sure that I am maybe keeping it narrow to begin with. Use connectors like and. So if I was doing Michael Jordan, I would do Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan and World Championships. I might type in Michael Jordan and the Chicago White Sox, since he played some baseball for a while, Michael Jordan and golf, Michael Jordan and Haynes, anything that I feel like he's at a connection with. It will even do that for me where I'm typing in Michael Jordan, and it will give me some other choices also sometimes. If I spelled Michael right, it probably would. There we go. So Michael Jordan basketball career, biographies, shoes, forgot about that one. Influence, legacy, impact, American dream. So those are all things that you can also search besides just Michael Jordan. You remember that you don't want just his biographical information, so adding these types of things would be helpful in your search. I'm actually going to pick something that is not on any of your list, or nobody in here is doing. I'm doing Nicholas Sparks. He is the author of many romance novels. He only has 4,000 articles to sift through, which is a little bit easier. So I have that many, and I have it by newest, so I want to make sure that I am getting the newest. I can also do it by relevance, so if I have Nicholas Sparks and novels, I narrowed it down to 897. I typed in Oprah earlier, and she had 33,000 just on Oprah Winfrey. So remember that different word choices will yield you different amount of results. The one thing I'm going to caution you to do is to make sure that you always click on full text on the left-hand side. Adding that full text to it means that you are going to get the exact article. Not every newspaper or magazine releases the entire article, so that means it could just be a summary on there. So I want to make sure that you have the entire article so that you can read the whole thing and figure out how to summarize that. Summarizing a summary is not the purpose of this assignment. So I have my 829 now because I narrowed it down by full text, and that knocked up another 50 of them. So this one has some Q&A. You'll see that some of them are listed as PDF full text, some of them as HTML. PDF just means that it was scanned in to the database, where HTML looks more like a website and was typed in. Alright, I'm going to kind of skim through. It's got tons of different, I know this was his newest book. This is another book that he wrote. I know that he had a divorce recently. And so any of these I think could do the job. So I am going to click on let's see, this second one. So I have the entire article here. Gives me a little bit of a timeline. I've skimmed through it, looks pretty good. Now I want to print it. So I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is open up a Google Doc, and I'm going to title it Annotated Bibliography. It seems weird that we're already starting our doc, but we need to get what's called the citation above the summary, and you can do that very easily right off of badgerlink by copying and pasting it versus having to recreate it on EasyBib or having to retype it. So I'm going to make sure I have this started. Each of you will have your own started, and then you will combine them. As you are searching, keep talking to your partner. You want to make sure that each of you has different articles and that there are no overlapping ones. I would hate for it to be time where you are combining your resources together into one document and you say to each other, oh yeah, we both had the same article, and now you need to figure out who's going to find a different one. So I have this one. I'm going to print it because I need it for Thursday to read and highlight. I'm going to hit print. Click on citation format. Remember that we are doing everything in MLA, and this will automatically format it into MLA for me just by clicking on the citation format and using the drop down bar to click on MLA. Then I'm going to hit print. And what will come up will be the printer. You guys have the netbooks, our little elite pads today, so you should be able to print next door. The printer number is 319. So hit print. Go get your article right away. Remember that it's not magic. It is not just come shooting out immediately. And so you might need to be patient, especially if you are doing the PDF ones. Those take a little bit of memory to be able to be transferred through the printer. So I'm going to hit print. So I'm going to pretend hit print. And I now have my first of 3 articles I need to have for Thursday. Then what I need to do, where it says works cited, I need this line all the way to where it says additional information. I don't need the additional information, just up to that point. I'm going to right click, copy, move it over to my doc, hit paste, and there I have it. There's my citation. If you guys remember from the examples I gave you the other day, that underneath those citations, once you read the article, that's where you will write the summary. I will hand out those samples again when we get to typing up our summaries. But for right now, you just need to get all of these transferred. So I'm back here. I'm ready to print my next one. So I will go on. This one happens to be PDF, so it's going to look a little bit different. It's loading. You guys will see that it looks like it's been scanned in straight from that source, where the other one looked like it came from like a website. Alright, so this is multiple pages. This is actually quite long, if I look at it. Lots of Q&A. If I hover my cursor over the text, this print button shows up. That's how I'm going to print my article. So I printed that. Now I need the citation, and I'll use the other printer key on the right-hand side. It seems like lots of extra steps, so if I have the choice between PDF and HTML, I go HTML every time just because it's only that one step versus 2. So I need my citation format, needs to be MLA. I'm going to go to print. I'm not going to print it. I'm going to copy and paste it. Oh, I don't need the additional information. So just up to 2016. So I've got it copied. And I'm going to paste it. Then I'm going to run over to the printer and grab my article. So then that means I only have one left to go, which is awesome. Then what I need to do is make sure that on Thursday I have the one Google one that I had to have printed, that we analyzed the source yesterday, and get that, have all 4 of them so Mrs. C can give me a grade when she comes back on Thursday. Alright? If you have questions, or you're feeling like, you know what, printing this, like I'm not finding good information, or we keep finding the same articles, talk with your partner, send me an email. I will check it at some point today. I will be on the road for a little while, but as I'm waiting for my doctor appointments and stuff, I will be checking my email. So happy searching. Use your good search tools. You guys all have the tools. Your toolbox is getting pretty full. Don't forget this full text. That's really, really important. And trying different keyword searches, such as Nicholas Sparks, and we all know that all of his books get made into movies. Now I have 755 about movies. So try a bunch of different searches. Try, brainstorm with your partner, see what they're finding. If it's different than what you're finding, work together. Even though you're both getting separate grades, you're still a team. So once again, for Thursday, have that Google article that you printed, or Google website that you printed in class, and then also your 3 articles printed to room 319 next door in that printer. Reminder that Mrs. Anderson's class is in session across the street, so don't be partying in the printer room. She will come over and tell you to pipe down. And that's kind of disrespectful to be just hanging out in there. So just be efficient when you go in there, grab your stuff. If it's not out yet, just, wait patiently. Like I said, if you have questions, let me know. And I'll see you guys on Thursday.